welcome to series of WAIPA short interviews with representatives of investment promotion agencies. My name is Boštjan Skalar and I'm the Executive Director of World Association of Investment Promotion Agencies, WAIPA. The purpose of these interviews is, of course, to get an overview how IPAs all around the world are responding to COVID-19 crisis, what measures they are taking, and what actions they are planning for post-COVID-19 era. So today it's really my sincere pleasure to have with me Ms. Taliya Minullina. She's a government member of the Republic of Tatarstan, the Russian Federation, and also Chief Executive of Tatarstan Investment Development Agency, TIDA. So welcome, Taliya. My first question to you is, so what's the current situation in Russia and particularly in Tatarstan, and what measures are being taken to alleviate the impact of COVID-19 on the economy?
Hello, very warm welcome to everyone. First of all, to you, Boštjan, and to all of the members of WAIPA, and maybe some people who are interested and are listening and watching us. What I would love to say is about the statistics. In Russia, we have for today, the 22nd of May, we have 317,000 people with positive COVID. Unfortunately, only 1/3 of them recovered for now, and 3,000 people died in the country. As for Tatarstan Republic, we have 4 million people living here. So we've got 2,500 people with positive COVID, and half of them have already recovered. This is like really good news. And unfortunately, 9 people died. So the number of deaths is not that big for today. And as for Russia, on the 11th of May, we had about 11,600 people, newcomers to positive COVID. And this was the top that we had on the 11th of May. Since 11th of May, we've got the negative trend, so it's going down, and every day it's less and less. So now it's about 10 days after the top. So today it's about 8,500 people. So these are the figures that we have.
What did you do as first measures, let's say, to alleviate this? Your first reaction, I mean, really in a short term, how did you assist, let's say, to investors? How did you assist to government to overcome these difficulties?
Well, in March, when it started spreading over the country rapidly, we happened to organize the quarantine all across Tatarstan Republic as a government, with a special local laws that we specially designed for this period of time. And one of the first measures was the website, the public website that we designed and organized for our population, because today we've got the infodemia, right? So it's like loads of different information and different resources, and people, they don't know where is the truth. And this was very important for us to show them the real situation, what's going on at the moment. And this website is called Help, but in Tatarstan local language, in Tatar language. We made the very wide mass media about like press conferences about this website, so that people can enjoy the real situation information. Second important thing, we designed a special application. This is a special services for population, because we asked them to stay at home. They need some time to go out for some reasons. So we designed 10 special reasons, and with the special system, they applied with the number of reasons that they want to go out and we actually understand with the help of that system where that person lives and where is the point he wants to travel to go to. And with a special AI system, we happened to balance the number of people outside who go out, and this helped us to prevent the crowds in the streets. The third thing that was really important is we organized the lots of online courses and online trainings with the help of McDonald's companies and other companies for small cafes and restaurants, for them to deliver the food to people to their homes and houses. Because today that was not really popular in Tatarstan as well as in Russia. Was just people, they try to go outside instead of getting the food online. Delivery services. So and this actually measured it has two reasons. First of all, to provide population with food and with the security purposes, so that they can stay at home. And second, of course, to help those businesses, cafes and restaurants, the small medium businesses, to survive in this period, because everything was closed. And it's still closed, actually. So it's the only way they can they can act, they can live as businesses. Then the next measures that we started to do is the online conferences with the entrepreneurs to understand what problems do they have. And the problems were really very classical problems with the usual crisis problems. These are the salaries payments. These are actually the tax payments, but the salary payments will be number one, and then the renting payments as well. Mm-hmm. So these are the two big problems that they actually face. Some of businesses they faced another problems, but the majority of them, they have the same. So we organize 1 or twice a week the online conferences for thousands of entrepreneurs, with the president of Tatarstan involved into that process, so that they can ask questions and get the right answers. And we try to communicate as much as possible with all businesses to understand how we can react to that, because once you don't have any communication, there will be no idea of what we can do. And then we started to analyze what do we have for pandemic, actually for the number of increasing people with COVID-19, and we managed to equip all medical all medical objects, healthcare objects, hospitals, with the right equipment, with the right number of people, specialists, with the pharmaceuticals, with everything. So we don't have any problem in this area. And so we analyzed it and we understood that it's okay, we are ready for that. Second, we understood that we are not ready for the number of masks that we are in need of. And that was a real challenge for us. Today in Russia, we have 4 plants that produce raw materials for masks. And 2 out of all that are located in Tatarstan. Oh, previously, yeah, and this was the time when they doubled the volume of production, of course, because everyone, it's in a high need now. They doubled it, and moreover they started to produce masks, because previously they only produced the raw materials for masks, and they used to sell it like that. But now the situation pushed them to the mask production. The production of masks we do have today, and we produce today 15 million of masks per month in Tatarstan. 15 million because 80 clothing manufacturers plus large-scale enterprises who have had previously no connection to clothing manufacturing, the ones who are petrochemicals, machinery building, they started to produce. Mm-hmm. So in general, we have 15 million masks per month production, and 50 enterprises producing sanitizers and hygiene gels. And what is also important is one of the enterprises who used to produce the sanitizers, and they always used to do that before, and it is called Smell. They actually increased in 15 times. 15 times, can you imagine that? And this is a really very big challenge for the enterprise, because they also have to hire new people, to get new raw materials, more raw materials, the volumes and the production lines and everything. So now they produce this only small enterprise, they produce 6 million sanitizers per month.
What I hear from you, Taliya, is that you acted very promptly, and especially what I liked is you said in the beginning you made it transparent to the audience. This is what I like, that the people understood the real situation. So now I like to hear always that the investment promotion agencies are actually active and they are shaping actually the future and assisting to investors and to government. So now I would ask the second question. So you as the leader of an IPA, so what's your opinion? How will the field of investment promotion be shaped in the long term? And why may investment promotion agencies need to adjust their strategies and use this as a chance rather than a challenge?
Well, the positive thinking side is always the basis of the success, I believe, actually in every single sphere all around the world. And this goes very well with what we've just mentioned about the challenges that we meet and using it as a chance. We have some enterprises and some investors who are enjoying the situation in terms of sales, in terms of the increasement of volume of production. But we also have, for the last 2 months, we have 1,500 new entities that were registered. And I think that for IPAs, it's a great chance to reshape what we are doing, and including internal business processes, because the IPA activities, like daily basis activities, so to say, they are very much connected to conferences and roundtables and traveling all around the world, whereas today we cannot travel. And if you cannot travel, you have to work in the office. If you work in the office, you have to, on a daily basis, to improve the work, your work, internal work. And this is how we started to develop new digital systems. First system that we started to do as an internal project of our IPA and for Tatarstan is the system of monitoring of investment projects online, so that the investors can follow what's going on with their projects, if it's a public-private partnership, or we are like working with him very hard on a daily basis, so that he can do it as GHL, you know, so that he can be registered in that system and can understand who is responsible for what every single stage of the project. And this is the system that we try now to connect to our government system, because the systems like CRMs and like others, they already exist. And we use some of them, but when you have lots of different information systems, it makes difficult and complicated for all the participants of investment processes. So we try now to balance and to synchronize the e-systems that we have, and this is something that I think all IPAs should do now to improve their relations with investors, and also we also organize online webinars, conferences. So we reorganized the planning for the whole year of the events that we were supposed to do offline. Some of them were just rescheduled for the next year, but some of them they are now planned as an new online version, so to say, of those. And it's also actually this work also have many positive things in it, so that when when it is an online, it's easier to understand who is interested in what, who is doing what. It's easy to control people in online conferencing, and it's like make them really easy to communicate and to get the feedback from them also easier. People are more involved into the Q&As usually because they are not afraid of public to stand. They can sit sitting and like, yeah, they can ask the questions. So many things, and it's cheap. And what also it's much cheaper to do it online for budget and for our budgets.
Do you think this will be more the future? I mean, it would become a new normal, like being, or people will still meet and go to conferences?
They will still go to conferences. Of course, people will still, but it will be more hybrid scheme. So that will be organized. Some of the events still will stay online and people will used to that because of this period of time that we now do that. And it's also very good for ecology, because we don't print lots of materials for the conferences of thousands of people coming. They don't pollute the air with the transport and everything. So it's very much connected to ecology, to my mind. And I think that it's really good to do it online in this case. And also, we don't have to pay so much attention to the form, to the design, so to say, of the conferences, and it's much more focused on the content itself and on the experts itself. So the content is more important, and I think that it's also a positive thing.
Definitely. My last question would be, you mentioned slightly already, you touched upon this topic. I guess we both agree that IPAs are becoming more and more important in these difficult times. Mm-hmm. How do you see, for example, a connection and, of course, the relations between IPAs and other institutions, not necessarily only external, but also internal within your, let's say, system? So, in general, how IPAs should communicate with outer institutions or within other institutions within the government, and how do you see the role, actually, of IPAs really in the future with this perspective?
Well, I think that the roles of APA would be even like higher, so to say, because IPAs are the main communicators, so to say, in between all of the different stakeholders of the investment processes. We have to communicate with the different ministries and like the prime ministers and presidents, with the investors, with the business people, with population as well. So it's like a very complicated process. And I think that the more efficient the communication is organized, because I know lots of examples when people were not communicating to each other, and it happened to be very bad for the territory. Whereas if the synergy effect we only have when we all are together, and I think that you know, they say the friend in need is a friend indeed, but I think that I think the IPAs are very important for investors in need now, and now we have the special role to help investors and businesses to be sustainable in this very situation, and maybe not to change so much the investment plans, because now what they started to do, they start to, of course, to reduce the number of investment. And according to UNCTAD, in April, they had the last report, if I'm not mistaken, and that was 30% reduction.
More.
Yeah, or even more. So in general, we have to be very focused now with the relations with our investors. Because some of the companies, they happen, like Turkish companies in Tatarstan, Chinese companies in Tatarstan, they happened to do some sponsoring programs during pandemic, and that was really very good for us. They like showed themselves as a very socially responsible companies. And we were really very glad with that, and we also helped some of them to organize those sponsoring programs. But they suffered as well as all of us. But I think this is going back to my issue, to my idea of positive thinking. only positive thinking can lead to the success. So in any situation, the most important thing is positive thinking and collaboration. And I think that all our IPAs, they should use this opportunity to promote themselves as we are doing that.
Exactly. So, you have even the masks that is Invest Tatarstan, I can see. And
yeah.
What I actually hear from your last sentences is actually that collaboration matters with whomever is engaged in the process, with any relevant stakeholders. And I like the idea of positive thinking, and especially like investment promotion agencies are becoming really important bodies. So I do thank you actually for your interview. I do not doubt that under your leadership, there will be success in Tatarstan and wider in Russian Federation. If you need any assistance from our side, from WAIPA, please feel free to reach us out. And we always count for your support as one of our long-term members. So thank you so much. And I would also like to thank to audience, to listeners who will get a lot of positive insights from this interview. And please watch us, stay tuned, and follow us in our social media, and follow us in our website, and read our papers that we are trying to produce in the favor of IPAs and in the favor of, let's say, governments, and in the favor of as well, of course, business community as our clients. So thank you all. And Taliya, again, thank you so much.
Thank you very much. It was my pleasure
being with us. And stay healthy and safe.